Surely. You know that water's been there all night. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is a Sunday for me and I'm going to be showing you guys how I get ready for the week ahead because, be quiet. Let's be honest, a successful week starts on the weekend, getting your meals ready, getting your schedule ready, and just setting the intentions for the week ahead. I absolutely love Sundays. I love getting ready for the week, especially when it's a nice sunny day. I just have always loved Sundays. So I'm going to run you through the things that I do to get ready. Now, I have definitely not always been this way. I definitely wasted way too many years of my life hungover, still partying on a Sunday. Let's be honest, there's nothing worse than a week where you spent the weekend drinking or hungover or just not doing any kind of planning and just trying to switch off and forget about life. When it comes to the week, you're scrambled, you've forgotten things, you're running late everywhere, and your life is just a mess. So I strongly believe a few hours on a Sunday or a Saturday, whenever you can fit it into your schedule, to sit down, plan out your week, go do your grocery shopping, and start to set some intentions for the week ahead is the key to growing and having a successful life. A couple of things that I like to do. The first thing I like to do is sit down and plan out my Google Calendar. So, by the way, I'm a little bit sick. If you can't tell, my voice is a little bit husky at the moment. Don't know, low-key feel like I've got COVID, but just ignoring that. I am 3 weeks out today and I'm feeling good, but honestly, I feel like most people wouldn't say this. Last night, I actually had a little binge and I ate probably 700 calories over what I was supposed to. And that's just me being completely upfront with you guys. I haven't done this entire prep, but I am just letting it go this morning. I'm not going to be doing any damage control, not going to be going to do any extra cardio or anything like that, or stress myself out and think. And I actually didn't even weigh myself this morning. I'm just going to move on with the plan and not let it get to me. I was just stressed, and often when I am stressed, I just lean towards food. But during this prep, I have been able to kind of manage that. But last night I didn't, and that's completely fine. I'm human. It is what it is. So that's but you heard it in my voice you heard it in my voice when I said, I'm feeling good. There was that doubt there because of what happened last night. But overall, my posing's the best it's ever been. My physique's the best it's ever been. All of my practices feel effortless. I'm excited for show day. And like I said, this has been the only slip up that I've had. So time to start planning my week into Google Calendar. So the reason why I love Google Calendar is it's just easy. You can color code everything. You can add people to events. So if you're like going for a walk with friends or whatever, you can add them to the event. If you're having meetings, it's easy. I just really enjoy it and I've used it for years. So what it allows me to do is look at my schedule, see where I have time to allocate to certain tasks. So obviously I put in when I'm actually coaching classes, when I have meetings, those things are certain they're going to happen. But then I also like to add in journaling, meditation, time for learning, my training, when I'm going to meal prep, when I'm going to eat. So what it does when I have those time blocks of when I'm doing certain tasks, it holds me accountable because there is no reason why I can't be journaling and meditating before I have my meeting on a Tuesday or whatever it is. Unless some emergency pops up, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do X, Y, Z. And of course, sometimes things do pop up and that's totally okay, but it definitely does help me stay accountable to the things that I know that I want to do and that I need to do for the week. And it also allows you to see when you don't have time for certain things. So I know on the days that I coach at 5 a.m. and then have like PTs of an afternoon or whatever it is, where I have like a really busy like work day, I actually use those days as rest days for training sometimes. And it's just really helpful to be able to be realistic with your schedule. Like, I actually don't have time on a Monday to do XYZ. Let's position it later in the week when it's not going to be super stressful and I'm not going to resent that task. So I'll show you guys how I set it up. The first thing I do is put in all of my work, coaching, meetings, and things like that. So I forgot that I already started it yesterday, but let's look at what I've already put in. So I color code everything. So the purple is work related things. So this is when I'm coaching classes, PTs, and things like that. The dark green is my training. Okay, so it is starting to piece together. Now, one thing that I'm being conscious of lately is trying to have a little bit more free time. So you can see on Friday, the only thing that I've blocked out is just some time for learning, which is when I'll do some of my courses or just some reading, whatever. But other than that, like Friday's pretty free and Saturday's pretty free. I just got to do one training session. Previously, like when I would have gaps like this, I would fill the gaps with something. But I am trying to have a little bit more free time as we get closer to comp, just to allow myself like some downtime and I'm not just go all the time. But as you can see, there's a lot of shit on here. So yeah, got my training sessions, when I'm going to be eating, posing, cardio, any meetings or like startup calls or anything like that. And I give myself a little reminder at 8:30 or 9 o'clock to get off my phone. And yeah, and sometimes on a good week, I will actually schedule in what posts that I want to do on Instagram and TikTok. But honestly, lately it's just kind of been whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. So that took me 15 minutes, not even. I do it quite regularly so I can smash through it quite quickly. But now I know what my week is going to look like. The next thing that I do is I start planning my meals. This week is a little bit different because I have a meal prep company helping me out, which is Jordan Hartley Health, which I used to get when I lived in Sydney, and they are by far the best meals that I've ever had. It's not even, I feel like I'm degrading it by saying it's a meal prep company because it's it's like your mum or nan has cooked you meals and dropped them off for the week. Like they're like fresh, delicious. They do not taste processed or anything like that. Jordan has a background in fine dining. She's a chef, so all of her meals are just so delicious. So yeah, I'm gonna have her meals Monday to Thursday for my breakfast and lunches. So all I need to do, which is so exciting, is just my snacks and my dinner, which makes my week so much less stressful. And I'm not actually going to have to do any meal prep today, which is amazing because I normally only meal prep my breakfasts and my lunches anyway. So I like to cook my dinners fresh. So how exciting. Hello, what's going on? You look a bit crazy. You're so cute. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. So what that means is I got a whoop. That's what the band is called. I'm going to get rid of the scrunchie. It's just not doing me any favors. So if you haven't looked into what a whoop is, kind of hate the name but also love going whoop whoop. The first night that we wore them, that's how I woke up in the morning. I rolled over and I was like whoop whoop. But basically do your own research, look at their Instagram, They recently just did a collab with, I've got really bad lighting. Recently just did a collab with Dr. Andrew Huberman, who I am a huge fan of. So basically it has all the benefits of an Oura Ring in regards to like the sleep and recovery side, plus all the things that an Apple Watch includes. The only thing that it doesn't include, which I'm kind of a bit pissed off about, is steps. Instead, they give you a strain score. Like I said, look into it, but I freaking love mine. And I feel like I am a superior human being for owning one. So now I am going to just have a quick look, hi baby, in our fridge and see like what we already have and what we need, which is just a pretty basic thing that most people do before they go grocery shopping. That is Crew's food, and honestly, every time I see it in the fridge, it just makes me feel sick. It's like this pea and hemp food because he is literally allergic to absolutely everything, and that's all that he can tolerate. Crop cam, look how cool these are. My favorite shoes ever. So yeah, I just start to write down a little grocery list. So obviously the food that I have on my plan that I put into my fitness pal and what we need in the fridge. This is my grocery shopping outfit. So top is from Glassons, which I fucking love Glassons. Pants are Princess Polly. Sunnies are Prada. And shoes are Crocs. I'm gonna take you guys to the grocery shop with me, which is gonna be quite challenging because I've never done that before. I've never taken my camera out in public, so it's a bit of a hurdle I've got to get past, but who cares? You know what I always say? It's not awkward to consume content, but apparently it's awkward to see someone creating content. So like, for example, if you were to walk past, which I don't think so, but I'm talking about like generally speaking, if you were to walk past a girl at the beach taking a photo in her bikini, some people would look at that. The fridge is on. Fridge is open, I mean. Some people would look at that and be like, oh, that's so awkward, and like judge her. But if they were to scroll on Instagram and see that photo, they would potentially like it and they wouldn't think anything is weird about it. But I'm like, how do you think that girl got that photo? Like, why is it awkward to see someone taking a photo or taking a video, but then to see it on your phone, it's like, oh yeah, and you would like it or you would consume it and not think anything of it. Like, content needs to be created for you to be able to consume it. So when I had that realization, I was like, I'm gonna take a photo, video, wherever, doing whatever, without any shame because of that reason. So I got most of the fruit and veg. And now onto meats. Here, so this is the one that I get. It's like 95% meat, 5% fat. 1, 2. I'm gonna restock on these Jarrah hot chocolates, and I found these, which is a new flavour, I think. I've never seen it before. Dark chocolate. Yum. Okay, so I just got home from doing the groceries. One thing that I didn't mention is I just create my grocery list on my phone, and I just use the notes app that's already on my phone, and I just separate it into like fruit, veg, meats, and then other things. And then just as I go, whilst I'm in the shop, I'm just ticking it off to make sure I don't forget anything. It makes my shop so much more efficient. I'm not buying shit that I don't need, and so much quicker because I don't need to go into all the aisles, think, oh, what do I need for this meal? Like looking at recipes, things like that. Got my grocery list. I know what I'm eating. I'm in and out. So I'm going to quickly show you guys what I got. So I just went to Woolies. Sometimes when I can be bothered, I will go either to the markets first and then go to Woolies, or go to Aldi, go to the butchers. But I just did everything all at Woolies this week because I'm in a bit of a rush. So, corn cakes, Oreos, which are for Wheat Bix that I make for Kurt. I do not, unfortunately, have the macros for that at the moment. A new Tupperware. Some more rice, which I got the Woolworths brand last week in comparison to the Sunrise brand, and they taste like shit and they just look weird. So I'm happy to pay a little bit extra and get the Sunrise. Some pikelets for Kurt. Jar of hot chocolate. I'm so excited to try this new dark chocolate one. More rice. Some noodles, which again are for Kurt. These pad thai kits, which I've been living off this prep. They are so easy, actually really good macros, and are so delicious. Some almond butter. I feel like this is just a Kurt shop. These are for Kurt to make pizzas and wraps on. Some new spray olive oil, which if you are flexible dieting or just dieting in general, I highly suggest getting a spray oil because you can use a whole lot less than like a normal oil. And oil has a lot of calories. So salsa for my taco bowls, burrito bowls, whatever you want to call them. And some aluminium free deodorant. That's everything for that bag. Next bag is mostly like fruit and veg, so mushrooms, raspberries, my favorite grapes ever, candy hearts. Like, oh my god, these taste so good. They're very, very sweet. Some Dutch carrots, pink lady apples, kiwi fruit, Brussels sprouts, more grapes, a whole bunch of zucchini and cucumbers, beetroot, onion, some carrots, and whatever these ones are, fucking normal carrots, banana, more kiwi fruit, some avocado, oh, lime, tomatoes, lots of fruit and veg. So in my plan, I do flexible dieting obviously, but I always make sure that I have 500 grams of vegetables and 200 grams of fruit, which it's just the old generic thing that they teach you back in school, 5 fruit, 2 veg. It still applies. It's a really great rule to apply when you are planning your meals. And it also makes sure that I don't fill my carbs up with just shit. Because some days I'm eating 200 grams of carbs. I could very easily just have fucking cereal, potato, all the good stuff, basically. But digestion-wise and just on like a nutritional standpoint, it is really important to make sure that I am eating lots of fruit, lots of veg. Same goes for you. Eat more fruit, eat more veg. And then one last bag, again mostly fruit and veg. Spinach and rocket for salads. These to put in with like my beef mince. Pumpkin, is that recording? Yes. Olives to put in my salad, which I'm having today. This is the barramundi that I get, which is just from Woolies. It's a skin off version. Not as great as the skin on version, but I prefer to use my calories elsewhere. Chicken mince. Chicken breast. Extra lean beef mince. Pretty much like my main source of protein this prep. Who do you think these are for? The man with the iron stomach. Right. More beef mince. Juice for Kurt. Now this is the cheese that I get. It is, I just thought someone was standing there, but it was this, like underneath my arm like that. That was scary. 50% less fat, 40% more protein. What a win. Some tofu, which is for Kurt, and then some egg whites, which this is like, these are new, I'm pretty sure. Egg white muffins on the back there, that looks so good. Egg white muffin, maybe I could make an egg white muffin. I'll put that into my macros. Seriously, that fucking sounds so good. Place fresh spinach, I can't talk today. Fresh spinach leaves, cherry tomatoes, feta, salt and pepper into a lightly greased muffin. Fill with egg whites and bake for 170 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. I could totally do that. But yeah, these are new. Feels good. And that's about it. So I don't need to do any meal prep today, as I said earlier, because I'm going to be cooking all my dinners at home and I've got my breakfasts and lunches sorted. So a little bit of a different Sunday meal prep for me. Normally I would spend a little bit of time now meal prepping, and my meal prep is super simple. The only thing that I cook up is my meats, and then I just chop up any fruit and veg that I'm going to be having like the next day. But other than that, I prep most things fresh because I do have the flexibility that I'm home a lot of the time in between the day when I'm not coaching. So I do get to prepare my meals fresh, and I do prefer that, but I still like to do some kind of meal prep just to make it a little bit more time efficient and easy. One thing I will say is I feel like people overcomplicate the whole meal prepping process. It can be so simple. As you saw there, I buy a lot of like pre-packaged veg that's already mixed up, things like that, and just, which makes it so much easier when I am making my meals and meal prepping. Like, it doesn't need to be this big elaborate thing on a Sunday that you've got to block out all this time. There's so many different ways that you can do it. Some people prefer to meal prep for the entire week. Other people do for just a few days in advance, which is what I like to do. But doing some kind of meal prep is so freaking important if you want to be better with your nutrition. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have meals prepped and ready to go, it is so much easier just to fucking get on your phone, order Uber Eats, or just snack and just eat things that are readily available. So if you've got high protein, balanced meals in the fridge ready to go, you have no excuses. So last little tip I'll give you guys is make sure your meals are exciting. Make sure you're going to look forward to eating them. Otherwise, again, you're going to leave it in the fridge and go and get Uber Eats or go and eat something else. So get some inspiration. These days there are so many free resources, it's ridiculous. Just look on YouTube, look on TikTok, wherever. There's so many meal ideas, meal plans, everything like that. And obviously a customized approach is best, but if you're just looking for inspiration for your own meal prep, online is a really great resource. The last thing that I wanted to talk about that I do on a Sunday to get myself ready for the week is my journaling. So I journal every day. In particular, this prep, I have been extremely consistent. Sometimes I've even been journaling morning and night, but on a Sunday I like to make it a little bit different. So on a Sunday I will have a look back at my journal entries from the week, have a look at my calendar, have a look at the things that I did complete and didn't complete, and kind of do a little, that was crew that just farted if you just heard that, kind of do a little audit of the week of like what worked well, what didn't work well, and kind of like what steps can I take to make next week better. And when you are doing this process, it is really important to do it from a place of no judgment, of not being like, oh, once again, I didn't journal every morning before I went to the gym, or creating any shame around it. Try and look at it from like an outsider's perspective of like, okay, this didn't work. Why didn't it work? What can we do to make it different? I'm concerned that I might have greens powder in my teeth. If I do, it's greens powder. But yeah, so looking at it from like a really logical standpoint and not getting down on yourself, because otherwise it's not an enjoyable process. But you know, I think a lot of us do this kind of at the start of the year when we're setting our goals, but I think it's a really nice thing to do each week, if not each week, each month. Because at the end of the day, how can you improve and grow and have a better week or have a better year if you're not reflecting and having a look at what's working well for you and what's not working well for you? Perhaps you're noticing like when you're around certain people that you're misaligning with your goals or whatever it is. Try like putting like pen to paper and getting a little bit of data on your thoughts and your behaviors and things like that is extremely important. So yeah, that's the last little thing that I'll do on a Sunday, and then I will just enjoy myself. So today I'm actually driving to Sydney again to go to a posing workshop, which I'm really excited about. Any opportunity for me to improve my posing, I'll be there. So it's hosted by, I don't want to say her name wrong, but Maheen and Letitia Lockhart. So two amazing posers, and they have beautiful stage presence, so I'm really excited to learn from them. But I hope that this little YouTube video gave you an insight into my Sunday, and it inspired you a little bit to spend your weekends preparing for the week rather than running away from them. Thanks so much for watching, guys.